Welcome to the Sales Enablers Academy. Here we talk about excellence in sales, marketing, aftermarket, leadership, and teamwork. Today we are going to talk about the importance of goal setting, planning, and preparation for success in B2B sales. To enlighten us on this important subject, we have Mr. Sanjay Pendharkar. Welcome, Sanjay. Sanjay
Thanks.
Pendharkar is a seasoned professional with over 3 decades of experience driving success in the dynamic areas of material handling, construction equipment. His expertise spans across key areas like sales, marketing, business development, honed through leadership roles across India and Southeast Asia. A significant portion of his career was dedicated to JCB India, where he excelled in sales, dealer management, and cultivating strong relationships with the customers. Currently, Sanjay is a co-founder of Whetstone Business Solutions, a leading consulting and training firm that employ business to achieve peak performance. It empowers businesses to achieve peak performance. Beyond his professional achievements, Sanjay is a respected voice in the industry. He serves as an editorial advisor to a prominent construction equipment magazine and actively mentors aspiring professionals, sharing his valuable insights and experience of over more than 3 decades. Sanjay is passionate about driving excellence in sales, marketing, and customer relationship, and he believes in the power of strong foundations for long-term success. Dear Sanjay, welcome to this
Thank you.
podcast. And I've been watching you in LinkedIn. You have a very, very impressive following, and
Thank
your
you.
nuggets are really, very impressive. So, for the benefit of the audience, I want you to share your journey and your entire professional journey on how are making a difference to people's lives.
Okay, thanks, Ravi. Recently, about I think 3-4 months back, Ravi, I completed 36 years of my professional career.
Oh, that's amazing.
And as I said, I worked in JCB India for over 32 years. And, primarily I was focusing on sales, marketing, business development, as you mentioned. Now, during this 32 years in JCB, I really got a chance to work across all the fields of sales and marketing. Primarily, direct sales, corporate sales, key accounts, market research, product launch, product development, dealer development, training, product sales training and product training, leadership training for the teams, team building. So virtually all the aspects of sales and marketing is something which I was fortunate to cover. And also during this period, I worked, let's say Pan India. I was a regional head for Central India, then West India, and then South India. Then I took over national role for material handling products. As you mentioned, I also, had spent some time in Southeast Asia, primarily in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So in 2020, after leaving JCB, along with about 3 former colleagues, we established a company which is known as Whetstone Business Solutions. Primarily, we work as a knowledge partners to this equipment industry, construction and metal handling, cement, or metal processing industry. We give consultancy and training if required there. With this, I was always passionate about the kind of giving it back to society. That's my dream, So then I started kind of mentoring mid-career professionals, students. I go as a guest speaker to various management institutes in Pune. I also, I'm a kind of for 3 different startups. I work as a mentor. Of course, you mentioned about editorial advisory board. I am on editorial advisory board of 2-3 different companies and 1 prominent magazine. I also am jury for a couple of industrial awards. And I really want to give it back to society, especially make our sales team, the future sales team, better than us. If we want to make India as number 1, the next generation has to be better than us. And that's what I'm trying to do. So that's all.
That's amazing, Sanjay. 36 years of experience. and a premium multinational companies like JCB, 32 years there, having a very rich geographical spread. I know we've worked as competitors in Maharashtra, then you worked in south of India, then north of India, then Middle East Asia, and then having a very rich experience in the verticals like sales, marketing, business development, network management, product development. I think really very amazing and impressive journey in terms of geographies, width, product lines, responsibilities. And I'm sure you have learned a lot in your professional and entrepreneurial journey now in the
Yes.
last 4 years. We believe that right goal setting is a must for success in whatever endeavor we are, whether it's an entrepreneur or a sales professional. And here we are specifically talking about sales professionals.
Yeah.
So, what are your experience and learning about goal setting in whatever you have done, and how important is goal setting?
Oh God, it's the important thing. Ravi, let me give you an example. Let's say, two teams are playing football. Let's say, two top teams are playing football,
Right.
and somehow we, for one team, we make the goal invisible. We either remove the goal or it is invisible. Let's say they can't see the goal. Will they
Yes.
win?
Very difficult.
It's impossible, right?
Right.
So unless you have your sight and goal, you cannot win. You cannot really defeat competition. You cannot make records. Goal setting is absolutely important. I remember I was reading a book by Zig, and he says a goal properly set means a job half done. You reach the target. It's target.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
It's like in GPS, we decide where to go. It is as important as that. If you don't have that, then it becomes very difficult for you to achieve. Uh, uh, if you have goal setting, goals are clear. You know what steps you need to take. Once we are, I'll treat this purely as a GPS. When you have GPS, you know from where you are and where you need to go, then you will plan everything. So goal setting is important. If goal is clear, top management and the team actually is able to perform. It's mainly, and I can say goal setting is a roadmap, which is crucial. So without goal setting, you will never achieve the goal. If you do not know where you want to go, then you can't go there. It's like this. So yes, goal setting, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely important. We need to really work on goal setting every time.
Well said, Sanjay. I think you might have definitely learned this the right way from the professionals. And you said rightly that well set goal is half the job done. A good beginning is half the job done. And like a GPS, we should know. And I've read a book. I'll also recollect of the 7 Habits by Stephen Covey. He says that begin with an end in mind.
Absolutely.
Begin with an end in mind as to where you want to go. And if you don't know where you're going, you will definitely be going nowhere. You will be going
Absolutely.
nowhere.
You'll be
And
lost.
if you shoot in the air, you will land nowhere. So we see this very true, but mostly I've seen in many corporates and many business situations where I see the goals comes from top down. They say
Yeah.
the management says you have to achieve this, and many times the buy-in is not there. As you rightly said, the goal
Yeah.
is invisible or the goal is thrust upon them, and sometimes the goal comes from bottom up, and that time there is a lot of conservation is there, but the chances of they being implemented is very high because there is a buy-in there. So, what is the right way we have to see whether it should be totally top down or bottoms up, or how do you see the goals has to be set in such a way that both the setter of the goals and the executor of the goals both have buy-in, and the chances of implementing the goals or success of the goal is high.
Yeah. Ravi, let's look at both the options. See, top down is very important because the top management actually they work on vision and strategy. You and we worked at the senior level also. Now there, you're very clear what you need to do for next 3 years, 5 years, and based on that, you will decide the goals. So top down is absolutely important. But top down, if it is not connected with bottom, let's say, uh, so then the ownership will not be there. So I think it has to be a mixture of both. First, strategic, the vision part and the strategy part need to be driven from the top. But when they're talking to the team, the bottom up, because who is in front of the customer, who is in the field, it's the team, the field team. They know the realities, whether it is possible or not. See, if you give it to only, let's say, the bottom team. If we work on bottom-up approach, you also mentioned, people try to be very, very conservative. They try to play safe. They would like to take, something which they can easily do. And unless the targets are stressed, company will not grow. We all need to grow, correct? Company has to grow, India has to. So for that, I think it has to be bottom down. It's a collaborative effort of both top down and bottom up. And if normally I talk in terms of ratio, let's say, I'll say maybe 70% it should be top down, or maybe 70 to 75%, and balance should be bottom up. So when both the teams sit, the entire team actually gets ownership. They get clarity of what is to be done. The ownership is there with everyone because they agree on a goal. Okay, what exactly they need to do. Let me say goal as targets. So once they agree, they will take ownership. They will work on the plan. Then they will decide what needs to be done, how it is to be done.
Well said. I think you have very nailed it right when you said that agreement is one of the key fundamental word here I'm picking up. One is that you just cannot give flexibility for people to set up a bottom-up goal. Then there will be less passion and drive because they are not seeing the bigger picture. If it is totally top-down, then definitely yes, the buy-in will not be there. So 70% of a vision-based goal, and then 30% of an agreement, and both are in agreement. The goal is also commensurate with the potential of the market.
They were
People
as a
are
team,
sitting down. Yeah, people are sitting down and agreeing. And then when both these things are matching, then the chances of success of goal is very high. Very true. Very well said. And I also read somewhere, Sanjay, which says that low aim is not a crime. You know, uh, failure is not a crime. Low aim is a crime. Sorry.
Absolutely.
So many times the management has to tell the people that okay, let us have this audacious goal, BHAGJ call, big hairy audacious goal. Let the goal be a little bit scary. It's okay. It's okay to fail, but let us not have low aim. Many people are fearing retribution, fearing a bad name, fearing insults. They go into a shell. So you are very right. The buy-in from the uh, bottom is very important, but the goal should be ambitious.
Ravi, the beauty of working in sales is that you have option to lose. No one gets 100% market share. So if you lose something, if you lose a order, it is accepted. This option is not available in, let's say, design. You don't have option to lose. You have to be perfect. That's the beauty of sales. And if that is the case, you need to take a risk. See, remember, there's a saying that if you aim at stars, you will reach at moon. So that is so we need to. You are very rightly. We need to have a very tall. We need to have audacious. We need to have a really kind of targets which are stretch target. And generally, the general tendency, would be that let me be in my comfort zone. If I didn't X machine, let me do X plus one. That kind of scenario. But then you will not grow.
This is well said, Sanjay. I like it. In sales, you are allowed to lose. And, I also keep saying that if you lose in sales, you learn. And if you win in sales, you earn. So either you earn or you learn. So, it's okay. You keep going. And if you don't lose, then there's a very bad sign because that means you're not trying enough.
Yeah, no, not attempted. Yes.
Well said. Well said. It is a goal without any framework or any exact method of achieving is only a dream or a wish. Okay?
Absolutely.
So, what framework you generally recommend for the goals to become really a very solid blueprint for success?
The same. I think we all work on the SMART framework. That specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. So I think the SMART. How to work on that we'll discuss a bit later. But SMART framework is the thing which I think we all need to work on. But we need to be very, very clear. See, remember, Ravi, if, for example, let's say, the goal is, let's say, I have 5 different product lines. For product line number 1, my goal is I'm at 75% market share. So my goal there is to hold on or defend the market share. Whereas, let's say in one of the product line, I'm at maybe 5%, and I want to be in top 3, which means I need to be at least 20%. Goal there is different. If the goals are different, the way we actually plan is different. So that's why we have to work on SMART product-wise. It cannot be that, let's say, you combine all the products together and then decide what needs to be done. It has to be product-wise. So the goals will change. We have to divide that goal into smaller one, let's say targets for each portal, and then we have to work on. Then we have to apply the SMART framework. Otherwise, we will not win.
Well said, Sanjay. Excellently said. And though smart looks like a cliche for the people who are not aware, S stands for specific. The goal should be specific. M is the goal should be measurable. What is that you're going to measure? Like 10 kgs of weight reduction or 20% increase in market share or so and so forth. It should be measurable. It should be achievable. There's no point in taking a goal which is not achievable and just for the sake of, the sake of writing a strong goal or a big goal. And R, it should be realistic. And T is it should be time bound. There should be definite time, maybe a quarter, maybe year, maybe half year. So yeah, SMART is very, very important. The goal should qualify the SMART framework. And as you rightly mentioned, the goal is not sacrosanct. It is a moving situation. It could be based on the market dynamics. It could be based on your relative position. It could be based on your organizational competencies. It could be based on your own competencies. So there is nothing, a goal for one may be different for another. So
Absolutely.
you need not copy the goal of somebody else. Maybe for a very established industrialist or a market leader, the goal could be to defend market share. And for a new player, the goal should be aggressively buying or getting market share. So
Yeah.
the goals can be changing depending upon your relative positions, as you rightly said, and depending upon the market share of each and every product. So there is no one sacrosanct goal. Very well said, uh, Sanjay. But
Thank
we set goals, and uh, what are the areas that one has to emphasize for the goal to become into a reality, other than SMART,
Okay.
in
See,
the
I think this
executional
is
patterns? Yeah,
execution part, right? See, we used to follow what, remember during COVID time, we had a term called PPE kit, PPE,
yeah. Personal protection. Yes, yes,
personal protection equipment, right?
yeah,
So that PPE is something method, I think, generally we used to follow, where
yeah,
first P is planning, of course,
yeah.
second is preparation, and third is
Okay.
execution.
Oh, very nice.
I think, whenever you get, let's say, set of goals, right?
Yeah.
The goals. Crucial is that we start with planning part. And
Okay.
when we are in planning part, it's absolutely important that we, you remember this saying that, failing to plan is planning to fail. That if you really do not make a plan, you are
Yes.
sure to fail. You actually have
Yes.
planned to fail. So
Yes.
planning is the most important part, and this is where I saw a lot of people actually who actually complain later on that we are unable to get the target. The real reason is they have never planned to actually achieve the target.
Yeah.
Planning is important, and when, let's say, in the beginning of the year you get a set of targets or goals, let's say that you need to work on this. You need to really actually lock yourself in a room and come out when the planning is over. Planning
Yes.
you do once a year, and you
Yes.
actually kind of tinker after every quarter. You see where you are, and you need to do some changes. Planning is absolutely important.
Yes.
Now, how? So once you get a target, what? Ravi, you're aware of this 1H5W method, one husband, five wife,
Yeah.
is
Yeah. How, what, when, who?
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think once you have a set of target, you have to really use this one husband, five wife method, where how
Yeah.
to achieve the target. Let's say target is to do, you know, you did X number of machines, the next thing you need to do Y. How actually
Yeah.
to do, you need to sit and brainstorm, how actually we need to work on achieving Y target. What exactly,
Yes.
what exactly we need to do? Which are the areas, which are the locations, which are the products which you need to focus on? Who will do it? And when exact and where we can implement this product, when can we have the schemes? So all of these things you need to sit in a room. Once you brainstorm, you decide the roadmap, you have to use this. So once you use this, once you have, you work on all of this, then probably you start working on we used to work on ratios, Ravi. Now for example, let's say the if you want to, let's say, the target is 5 machines a month. Now, how do you decide how many people you need to do, how many visits you need to make? So we used to work on some various ratios. The ratio of maybe lead to prospect, prospect to suspect, suspect to sure shot. The cycle time. Let's say you when you meet a customer for the first time, when he's lead stage, Because if cycle time is, let's say 1 week, it is okay, you can have one guy. If cycle time is 6 months, so you have to work on all these ratios, and then you have to make a plan. Plan is such that whereby you can, and of course you need to have a frequent look at the plan, but frequent means not every day, it is probably once a quarter. So you have to work on this plan. You have to plan which are the territories. In planning, you will be working on these ratios. You will be looking at the territories, which are the territories where competition is strong, where we are strong, we need to defend, we have to capture market share from competition. All of this you have to probably list it down. You also need to list down maybe important events. For example, elections. You're aware whenever there's elections, the sale increases. So you look at where exactly, maybe next year in 2025, where exactly will be the state elections. So can we really plan as per that? National elections are anyway over. So that then you have to focus on the events. When exactly, for example, you may have to float some new schemes. So when are the festival? Are you aware of your competition? Maybe competition is launching some product. So competition, generally they do not launch pan-India. They will launch certain pockets. How to defend the market share? So planning part is really, really very important. If we're able to do good plan, trust me, 50% of the work is done, and the possibility of you actually achieving the target is very, very high. So after planning, the next piece, preparation. Planning you do once a year, and as I said, maybe every quarter actually you tinker based on the market situation. Preparation is you really look at whether is the team prepared to actually what a plan you made, can they deliver? Now in preparation, you look at resources. For example, let's say based on the ratios which I discussed some time back, we decide that we need, if there are good sales team, people who can convert faster, then we need to have, let's say 5. Let's say I'm just giving a theoretical example, that we need to have 5 salespeople in maybe one territory, and these 5 salespeople need to actually make 5 calls every day. Just example.
Yeah.
Now, let's say what happens if one of them leave. Then obviously balance 4 has to do, instead of 5, maybe 6 or maybe 7 calls, or maybe in some territory the team is not as good as they're average or less than average, let's say, where if the normal cycle time is X days, they take X plus Y days, then their number of visits. So this is when you put a find a point, salesman wise, virtually you make a plan. So you look at the preparation key. Is it ready? You train the team. You give them tools. So this is, and also you look at resources. For example, do they have to? For example, let's say if you need to make, let's say 5 visits, in place where I'm staying in Pune, making 5 visits is a challenge. Let's say if somebody says, please take public transport, impossible. They need to really have 2 wheelers. So you look at these kind of resources also, and plus, we also look at the territory. For example, let's say since both of us are in Pune, we understand that if somebody's, he's planning to actually visit North Pune in the morning and South Pune in the evening, maybe he can make at least 2 visits. So if the list, can he actually go and meet all the customers in that place only? Is he prepared? What happens if he goes to meet a customer and he is not there? Maybe some emergency, he is not there. Is he prepared to actually meet somebody else so he doesn't waste company's money? You understand? So that is the preparation part. So PPE, and third part is execution, where execution is daily. So maybe planning is yearly. Preparation could be monthly. Let's say every month you prepare with a team and you prepare who's going to what, when, etc. And the execution part, that people go. So as far as the execution part is concerned, that is very important. In the sense is that I strongly feel that we need to have the boss, the leader, team leader, need to ensure that he makes 2 calls every day to the team. Once in the morning to know what exactly is the plan for the day, what he's doing. In the evening to get an update. And these things need to be updated in the system, somewhere in the system, which is called MIS. Now here I really, since I've been interacting with some companies, I realized that people are very fond of reports. I'm not suggesting a lot of reports. I'm saying have one centralized MIS, and whoso are actually you are fond of various reports, draw the data from MIS, not from the guys. They should be in field in front of customers.
Correct.
So this is this PP method actually. I think it works.
Very nice, Sanjay. I think we have in a nutshell, you have explained a beautiful process. You have said that a proper, solid, sound goal with the buy-in from the team and the vision of the management is a very good start. Then this PP acronym is very, very relevant. You plan, you have a granular plan. You take into consideration various events like elections, disruptions, market fluctuations. Then you plan for each and every contingency, your own capability. You have a factor of safety for your own efforts or somebody going on leave. And this can be used by an individual also. It need not be an organization or a team. So he plans, he has a contingency. Then comes preparation. You have to prepare for all the situations, scenarios, and then you have to execute. So there is no point in planning and preparing without execution.
Absolutely.
And a journey of 1,000 miles, they say, begins with a single step.
First step,
but it will get completed only when you take the next step.
Absolutely.
If you stop after taking the single step, you will be just staying this. Keep on taking the next step and next step and next step. And I also realize one beautiful fundamental in goal setting is that you break the goal into small, meaningful milestones, so that when you achieve each milestone and celebrate it, then you have energy to the next milestone. You cannot, if you want to run a 10-kilometer run, don't be happy only when you complete the 10-kilometer. You have a milestone of each kilometer, and after every kilometer you celebrate. You be happy that you completed 1, you completed 2, and not only with yourself, you celebrate it with your team, so that they also get motivated. I see many bosses or many leaders, they are very cold-faced till the entire goal is achieved. I say you have small milestones and celebrate every week or every quarter. What happens is the team gets the energy to perform. Very nicely said. PPE, I always remember this: planning, preparation, execution. So, in your professional journey, you have seen so many people, and anybody who you feel as a role model for goal setting, planning, and preparation. You say, oh, this person you may name, you may not name, or this department or this particular function. You are you looked up to them, saying that, wow, I should learn from them. Maybe within the organization, maybe outside the organization. Who are just your experiences?
See, since I worked in JCB only for 32 years.
Yeah, I think we have lost you, Sanjay.
I do not know much. But yes, the company where I worked.
I think we had just lost you for a brief. Maybe you can just start here. It's okay. Now it's okay. You said you worked in JCB primarily.
Yeah, I worked in JCB for 32 plus years. So, and I never worked outside. So I had no experience of people who are, who are good leaders or goals organization. I will give full credit to, the JCB India top management during my entire tenure of 32 years. I can't name anyone because there are a group of people who actually work. It's JCB India and of course, global leadership as well. Why I'm saying this is, the kind of things what they did. Ravi, in last, maybe during my 30 years tenure in JCB, at least 3-4 times the market actually dipped. It was remember 2008 crisis and 2011. Now these are the time when actually this time when it's a real test of the senior leadership, and the top management, they never ever removed their the goal. They kept their eye on the goal. They never removed. There were time when others, when many of the other companies, they were reducing, they're cutting down investments. Not JCB India. They continued. They really, kind of cut down expense somewhere else, but ensure that the investment part, that is there. So the moment, whenever the market actually bounced back, JCB ended up gaining market share, and it was to keep the team motivated. I think it's a case study actually. I'm just for the sake of benefit of the audience. JCB India is a company, I think only company in the world, maybe Apple, I have no idea about Apple, etc., who actually have retained market share of 75% plus for 30 plus years. And the competition is, the global competition, all who's who in the world are in India. Doing this is not easy. For that, you need to have a visionary leadership who will ensure that they'll keep on motivating, and the goals, they never actually change the goal. So I think for me the hero is different leaders with whom I worked in my 30-year career in JCB India only.
Well said, Sanjay. And I have been watching JCB as a competitor for the last 3 decades of my career. And as you rightly said, I am still astounded by 75% plus market share for the last 3 decades, and with 10 players of global standards coming in, and this requires a very clear leadership, and definitely in that's one product segment at least, undisputed leader. And I always was impressed by Mr. Bamford's quote of the sense of urgency which you have to see. And in anything, a leader should have sense of urgency and the customer centric approaches. 2 or 3 instances where there was a product change or cylinder change or engine change, the way in which that particular difficult situation was addressed to, the sense of urgency or the war footing or the client centric approach, and everything, the leader's thought process gets percolated, as you rightly said, down the line. There are so many people executing that thought process, and you cannot name a single person, but the ethos is flowing. So, a leader should be
Yes.
someone who is setting the organizational culture in place, and that should be client centric. Very nice, Sanjay. Well said. That there is no one person, but the overall uh, team is geared up to act on a particular thing, which will be client centric. Invest with a faith, conviction. A leader should have conviction, and only
Yes.
when the leader has conviction, he invests in even at difficult times, as you rightly said. And that is the why reason I think JCB having plant in Baroda, now in Jaipur, in Pune, and Balabgad, and I think other places also is a testimony to the fact that the leadership has got full conviction in this. And if you can have a parallel to the leadership talk which you are giving, the leader should always have conviction. So even if it is a general who is fighting a war or anybody who is fighting a war, the team members, they look towards the leader's conviction
Absolutely.
and to go and fight the particular battle. Well said, Sanjay. And I think we are having the last couple of minutes here. So, this particular podcast, we are aiming to be a generic podcast on planning, preparation, goal setting. There are a lot of newcomers coming in the construction equipment industry, in the B2B sales, who have not have the background of a construction equipment industry or a B2B sales. And sales is a very tough job. A lot of rejection is there, and you have really given them a motivation saying that it's okay to fail. Well, if I had a boss like you, or if people have a boss like you who says it's okay to fail, man, go and fight, then half of the battle is won. So what words of advice you'll give to the aspiring sales professional as regards goal setting, planning, preparation, or the PP, I would say, planning, preparation, and execution?
Okay, I think I was just scribbling some points which normally I discuss during my training. Let me see if I have that
Yeah,
in those points. Yeah,
yeah,
first and foremost, Ravi, is for sales team that they need to spend 90% plus time in field, not in office.
very nice.
There's something which the tendency I see a lot of people, they are very comfortable. A salesman has got no work in office. Can you think of anything except maybe submitting a report today? That is being done online also. So salesman, if you are in sales, you need to be in front of customer 90% plus time. If you're in front of customer, if you have positive attitude, if you have the product knowledge, if you have the basic selling skills, then the possibility of you failing is very less. People lose order not because they are weak in maybe product knowledge. They could be, but I'm just saying, people could be good in product knowledge. They could be really good in kind of selling skills also. But if they are not in front of customer, where exactly they're going to experiment those skills? So the attitude. So it's crucial that they sit in front of the customer maybe 90% of the time. If they're in front of customer 90% of the time, possibility of them failing actually will go down. Customer, how many times you will fail? If you're continuously meeting customers, possibility of you actually, the ratio of failure will go down.
Yes.
Let me see. Second is you need to have faith in yourself.
Yes.
Have absolute faith that that I'm going to meet a customer to get the order. You may actually end up losing the order, don't worry. But if you are it's like giving your best performance. You're an actor. I always tell people that sales is a combination of science and art.
Yes.
But when you're in front of customer, you're Amitabh Bachchan. You're an artist. You have to give your best performance. You cannot be somebody else. Yeah. So that is crucial. Have faith in yourself. Give your best possible performance. There is no, you can't take a shortcut. Have a growth mindset. Think that you're going to grow. There's a movie actually. I don't know whether it is appropriate to mention here or not. Andaz Apna Apna. There's a movie.
Yes.
There's a character
Salman
called.
Khan and Salman Khan, Amir Khan. Yes.
Yeah, and
It's a one-time favorite. That time it's a very funny movie. Yes.
Yeah, and there is a crime master Gogo, if you
Yes.
remember.
गोटी निकाल के आंखें निकाल के गोटी खेलता हूँ. He used to say something like.
Yeah, so there's a dialogue which he says, "आया हूँ तो कुछ लेके जाऊंगा."
लेके जाऊंगा. वाह.
So a salesman need to be like that. If I'm in front of customer, I'll take something. Order, maybe if he's having earlier machine, maybe annual service contract, maybe parts. So that kind of positive attitude, if this guy is having, the possibility of him actually, being average salesman it doesn't exist. He will be the top salesman. Let me just check. Of course, without if attitude, as you mentioned, maybe without using this word, I mentioned that he has to be absolutely positive attitude. Product knowledge, you cannot. Why I'm saying this is when I meet a lot of people, I realize that they do not know their machine. What product they're selling, they are not. You cannot. It has to be 100%, not even 99.9%. Your knowledge about your product has to be 100%. Your knowledge about competition product has to be 100%. It is a hard work, but it's fun. When you win the order, you got everything. And let me just check, then.
I think you have summarized many points, Sanjay. It's okay. I'll just paraphrase what you said. First, you said you be in front of customer. That is, I'd say 100% I agree with you. And very nice analogy with that Andaz Apna Apna movie you said. आया है तो कुछ लेके जाऊंगा. And Sanjay, you are very right. Sometimes you may lose the order, but you may get some information about competition's pricing strategy,
Absolutely.
which can be very useful in the next. I recollect my situation where once I lost an order to one competitor of mine, definitely not JCB, some other competitor. And I lost the order, and order was given, the money was given, the machine was coming. I was so sad that customer said, "What do you want?" I said, "Sir, I want the presentation which the competition gave you." "Oh, that I cannot share you." "But sir, at least if you give me that presentation, it's in the form of video. It was a 20-minute video. Sir, what will happen? I can go and tell my management that they have such a beautiful video, and that is why I lost." He just took my pen drive. He copied that video. "Well, for you, for your efforts, for your sincerity, I'm giving this." So, कुछ लेके जाऊंगा. It could be an information about his next purchase. It should be his relationship. It could be information about the competition. As you rightly said, some parts business. It could be some service contract, or it could be some splitting of the order. Sometimes what happens,
Yes,
when there's a multiple equipment order, customer says, "Okay, I have given this larger piece to the competition. Let me give you something."
Smaller
So I
part,
think
yes.
this you have nailed it right. This only happens when you sit in front of customer.
Absolutely.
And you and me work for about 30 plus years. We know that nothing happens in Excel sheet and nothing happens in conference room.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, unfortunately, this call center culture and this technology culture, people take it for granted, and they say, if customer says don't come, they say, "Okay, I'm not going because customer is saying don't come." So many times in sales, you have to get crash. Many times
Absolutely.
in
No, you're boss, it is not foot in the door. You have to push the door.
just push the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the balance. Yes, very nicely you said. That is one nugget which you said, that of going and sitting in front of the customer. Second thing which you said is be growth mindset. Have a growth mindset. It's okay. To fail, but ultimately I'm going to win. Don't be negative about the product or the competition or the market. Say that you keep on doing effort. Should have a positive growth mindset rather than belittling the competition or your management or your pricing strategy or your service colleagues. This is the second thing, is having a growth mindset. Third thing, as you rightly mentioned, is attitude. The never say die attitude, smiling, not getting irritated. Customer may be calling you 3-4 times, but not giving you enough time. Many salespeople lose patience, and their irritation or
Yes.
anger is very clearly visible. So I think if they remember these three things only, Sanjay, one is keep sitting in front of the customer no matter what. Number one, having कुछ तो लेके जाना ही है इस अंदर से. Even if you lose the order, I used to say, kuch to leke aao, and if you sit, you will get something. Having a very positive growth mindset and having a positive attitude, sorry, having a growth mindset, saying that, look, I will also have to win and the market has to win, but I will take my share. And having a positive attitude. These three things, if I think people will do as rightly said by you, and keeping the PPE kit in mind, it's not only like having a goal in mind, what is your plan to achieve? And Sanjay, I would recollect, working with some of the Italian colleagues in CNH, they were not enthused with your goals. Whatever you say, I will do 60 machines or 100 machines or 200 machines. They say, okay, how are you going to achieve it?
Absolutely.
What is your day-wise plan? What is your week-wise plan? What is your
Absolutely. Yeah.
contingencies? How many customers you're going to meet? What if you don't meet this customer? What is your conversion ratio? If you say my conversion ratio is 25%, they would say on what basis is this 25%? Do you have data to substantiate your
Absolutely.
25%?
Absolutely.
Just because you feel that it is 25%. Excel mein to you put any numbers and you put 0.25 aa jayega. But how this 25% is arriving? How many years of experience you have got to prove that it is 25% or 20% or 10%? What was your conversion ratio in the last 4 years?
Yes.
So all this granular detail, as you said, planning, preparation, asking the management what is the extra support you require. Is this PP? I think the entire summary, if you were to make about this session, Sanjay, I think one is having a very good goal using the SMART analogy, using the PPE kit, sitting in front of the customer, having a growth mindset, and having a positive attitude. I think any sales professional can do wonderfully well.
Yes, surely. See, as you mentioned some time back, when you're in front of customer, you either win or you learn. If you don't learn, then you lose. You never,
Yes.
otherwise you learn. And when you learn, that itself is important because that will help you to ensure that next meeting, which could be maybe an hour away, from you lost the order in the morning and you're supposed to meet second customer in the afternoon. And then you have to go give your best performance. So when you learn, actually ensure that you do the right things.
Wonderful. And you have only given the beautiful mantra in sales, you are allowed to lose. And that's fantastic. Because when you lose, you don't lose. You may lose the order, but you may win a beautiful experience. And
Absolutely.
even now, I am learning with each and every sales which happens. Sanjay, it was wonderful having you, listening to your practical insights, your very rich experience in form of the geographies, the domains, the locations, and your experience in the form of the business cycle also. Might have seen some 4 or 5
Yes.
ups and downs.
I mean, lucky.
The
I was lucky. I was
1999.
lucky that India was growing, and when we started, if I talk about backwater market itself, when I started in maybe '88, the market size was probably 150 machines. Now it's 50,000 machines. Just look at the kind of the growth over a period of 30,
Yes.
35, 30 years. So yes, when you are in an environment which is kind of growing and a lot of competition is coming, the learning is very, very high. So yes, I was
150
fortunate.
machines, yeah.
I was fortunate.
150 machines to 50,000 units and going strong. And all these things which you have said is not theory. They are coming from a solid experiential background. So I think I'm very sure that people will enjoy this, Sanjay. Thank you for coming to Sales Enablers podcast. Let us be in touch. And I would like to keep seeing you in LinkedIn. You're touching many people's life. And thank you very much, Sanjay.
Thanks, Ravi.
And
Thanks.
keep adding value.